Hello and welcome to Product Discovery Unlocked, 6 sessions to improve on-site search and navigation. This is our video series to help you understand one of the easiest ways to help your customers find the products they want to buy, which will reduce bounce rates and improve your conversion rates. In this video, we're wrapping up our series by getting into exactly why you need to improve your on-site search functionality and make it easier for your customers to discover products on your website. I'm Chloe Thomas, host of the E-commerce Master Plan podcast, and I'm joined by Ian Scarr, an e-commerce veteran who spent a large chunk of his career focused on improving the customer's on-site search experience. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Chloe. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad to be catching up with you for this video and finding out more.
It's been a long time that we've known each other, so looking forward to this.
Yes, I am equally e-commerce veteran. I'll take that moniker too. Right, shall we get stuck in then? You ready for the first question? Okay. So often a retailer will stop investing in their existing website when they've got a new site build planned, but on-site is the exception to this rule. Why is that?
Well, why wouldn't you wait or would you wait to sort of do something? On-site search is the most important aspect of product discovery. If someone's coming to your site, they're going to be highly motivated shoppers. They know exactly what they're looking for. So they've got that intent to buy. So why would you wait, particularly if you're on an old legacy platform, or if you're wanting to upgrade, if you're a new merchant and you wanted to upgrade from an existing e-commerce platform, just to give you that edge. And that's particularly important in the current times, but it's always important from an e-commerce website. And what's really important is if you are going to go through a lengthy process to search and select a new e-commerce platform and upgrade your website, whilst you're doing that, you want to make sure that your existing site is converting a rate that's going to make you more money, because ultimately that's what you want your website to do. So keeping the consistency between your searching and your navigation and enhancing that is one of the things that a solution like Klevu can do for you, because it makes sure that the people that are searching, people that are navigating, have exactly the same product results in their product discovery search or experience on the site. And that's really, really important. Other things that solutions like this can do is also help you deploy landing pages really quickly. So maybe your old platform is not, maybe it's a bit clunky, maybe you have to go to IT, takes a long time to get things and spool things up. But if you've got a solution like Klevu, you can get a landing page deployed very, very quickly. And that's really important, particularly if you're looking for trends, if you're looking to get things on sale, do a product page that is really important to your business needs at the time. And if you increase your conversions by deploying a solution like Klevu, then it can pay for that migration, because most migrations can be anything, 6 figures, 100, 200 grand. Yeah, it's a lot of money to be investing in your site. If you upgrade your existing site before you do that with a solution like Klevu, you can easily pay for that migration with the enhanced and increased conversions that you get.
So it can provide some workarounds to help you solve the problems you've got on your existing site whilst you're building, which is, it's always a sad day when a marketer is having to find workarounds to do what they should just be able to do, but it's a reality of the world we exist in, isn't it? And it's like, if you can find simple, easy to use workarounds that keep those sales coming in, keep the customers happy, whilst you've got the big project going on in the background, why wouldn't you, quite frankly?
And it's a workaround, but it's also a permanent fix for your new platform that you're going onto as well. Because if you think about it, if you've got a 3 month, we've had 2 cases recently, for example, where they were going to migrate, but then COVID came along, and they've pushed those projects, but they've still gone ahead with the Klevu implementation. And the reason being is because obviously the things that we just talked about, which is giving those enhancements and allowing them to make sure that they're getting a great experience, because they've got increased traffic coming to their site. But also, you think about it, you've got 3 months of good data being collected that you can feed into that new platform as well, effectively, because the Klevu system will keep working. All we've got to do is just migrate it onto the new website that you're building.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of the time people pause dev on an old website because there's no point, because we'll have to learn it all again when we get to the new site. And Klevu is really the exception to that, isn't it? Because you can actually get a head start on the performance of the new site whilst improving the performance of the old site. And as you said as well, that consistent customer experience. Because I don't think anyone's ever put live a new e-commerce site and not worried, is the customer going to understand how to use it? So if the search experience stays the same, then that's one less thing to worry about. in my book.
Exactly, it's consistency. It's consistency, and the new site will launch, and it'll be lovely because you've put a hell of a lot of time and effort into designing these new front pages, landing pages, your branding, etc. But the search experience is consistent. So people that are used to searching, they're going to know exactly where they're going to go. They're going to get exactly the same experience that they've got because they've got used to that good experience on your website. The worst thing you can do is switch off an enhanced tool like Klevu on your new site, go back to default to old school sort of list searching, and your performance will decrease and your conversions will decrease.
So that's clearly why we should be investing in it now, whatever our site plans are. But let's instead of going from the now, let's look towards the future. What is, because you spend your days looking at product discovery and what's happening. What's the future of product discovery?
So we talked about intent to buy, and we talked about people coming on and they know what they're looking for. But what happens if they didn't? And they're not quite sure. They've got an idea of what they want to look for, but they're not quite sure. So they need some help. And for me, on-site search is about being that in-store shop assistant, that person that's going to guide you by the hand, obviously at the moment 2 meters away, but guide you by the hand and take you, because you've asked them that you want a 42-inch OLED TV, they're going to take you to exactly the 42-inch OLED TVs. Yeah? So that's search. And the way you increase that in the future and make that better in the future is by adding in personalization and recommendations. So personalization is personalizing from the second click within Klevu, because it's starting to collect the information that you're interacting with the site, and then starting to bring forward more relevant products to you based upon your interactions and keywords, etc., that you're putting into the search bar. And obviously then you're clicking and then you're going through the site, and then if you're a repeat purchaser, then you're coming back and getting that personalized approach. So that's going to feature more and more and more. And I see that something that's like predictive search. You've got predictive text on your phone when you're typing things in. I feel there's something like predictive search is going to come along. So think a bit Minority Report.
Okay,
so
yeah.
we're all carrying around these things. We're all carrying around sort of an identifier as such, and you're identifying yourself when you're going onto a search box. So there's going to be some time in the future where you start to search and it's predicting what you're wanting, because and it's a bit like the personalization, but it's starting to show you stuff as soon as you walk in the shop, and it can be online or offline. So walking in the shop is as soon as you start engaging with the site, obviously. But as soon as you walk in a physical store, you've got this digital emitter that's telling the store who you are and what your preferences are. So therefore it's going to interact with you. So I think online and offline are going to sort of merge together, and you're going to start to see sort of a searchy type of experience going on within the stores and as well as online. So I think that's quite cool. Like I say, Minority Report. So engage with customers as soon as they're interacting with you. Chatbots. I think it's an important part of the experience moving forward. So questioning in your search experience. So something popping up and then asking you, especially if it's identified you, and it knows it's Chloe, you know that you like certain types of perfume, for example. It's then going to question you around, do you want the 50 milliliters or do you want the 100 milliliters? As you're searching that, so that you can get to that product really, really quickly and easily. So it would be a sort of slightly different sort of approach.
Yeah, because I suppose in many ways the chatbot it's an interactive search box, really, isn't it? It's for the consumer. It's a search box that talks back rather than a static one.
Clever AI in the background, but it's using your preferences and your behaviours and personalising that interaction with you. So I can certainly see that influencing the product discovery experience moving forward. I think that's quite important. And then there's other things, voice search.
Can't talk about search without talking about voice search.
Absolutely, and then image search as well. And there's sort of two important things that feature. One of them is already out there in the wild, and image search is out there as well. But Klevu, certainly, we've got a voice search solution out there.
Very cool. Properly up with the latest trends there. Love it.
Try to be.
And we've done quite a bit on search there. Let's talk Instagram though, because one of the big challenges in e-commerce is the fact we've got Instagram that's great for certain categories. It's amazing. Food, clothing, holidays, crazy place for marketing it. You get big engagement, lots of followers, but it's very hard to get a link, to get people to actually click, which causes a lot of challenges for the e-commerce business, because for people like me who love to be able to track things, it's very hard to track. But it also creates quite a disjointed customer journey as well, doesn't it? And how does, because I know you guys at Klevu, you've been doing some things to try and help undisjoint that challenge.
Yeah, I think the challenge is that link. It's how do you do that? But is there a way moving forward with images? Because obviously images, and because that's effectively what we're talking about, is an image search. So an image will have metadata. It's going to have some form of identifier within the mechanics of that image file, whatever that image file may be. It'll tell you what it is, basically. So that's data which you would normally probably get in a feed. So with normal search solutions, you have to put the information into it, whether it's from externally, from your e-commerce platform, from social, from content, or whatever it is. The image is just like another piece of content. Yeah. So it's connecting the two together to make sure that the search solution understands what that metadata is, to then bring it forward into a relevant search result. So with regards to what we're doing at Klevu, is we've started to do a pilot internally, and our CTO is looking and developing this technology at the moment that is doing that sort of lookup. So the trick is, and I think from your question is the link. So how do we measure that? How do we come from Instagram, that we've understood that that's the particular image that we're searching for, it's identifying and grabbing that link. Now, over the years, search technologies have been able to put, within Google, for example, some form of link in the Google search results. Mm-hmm. So what it does is it generates that link. Google then indexes your site and then brings that link forward. So it's a bit similar to SEO and that sort of thing. But what you can do is it is actually then driven by that search solution to then drive it to the particular search catalog on your website. So something along those lines will be used to track the link. But until we've finished developing it and our CTO has briefed us on everything, then I think that's going to be the gotcha. But do you know what? It's a huge part of product discovery moving forward, because social interactions, you think about generation X, Y, or Z, whichever generation that may be, they've all grown up with digital and online and interacting with devices and Instagram. And I've talked to my kids about hey, go on Facebook. We don't use Facebook, we use Instagram and all these other sort of stuff to create profiles and document their life, but they also use it a lot for buying stuff, or at least finding things to buy. So if we can tap into that in a format that's actually going to allow us to enhance the product discovery capabilities of someone's website, then that's huge. That's a hugely important part of the future of product discovery.
So we've looked at kind of the future stuff, some of the now stuff. Ian, I can't not ask you the kind of the big question, I suppose, which, if someone's watching this video is convinced that they need Klevu to increase their sales, but, and this is the big but, they now need to convince the boss, the person who's got the margin, the person who is that gatekeeper, to say yes, which I remember back in my days as a marketing manager. Oh, you get so inspired and so excited about something, and then the boss was so hard to convince some of the time. And then when they finally agreed, they almost claimed the idea as their own. So for people in that situation, how can they help convince their boss to say yes, and to kind of take them on the journey of going, yes, this is what we need, and to get that okay, so they can improve the results performance and get that, all those extra sales and that much better customer experience?
That sounds a bit like an experience you and I had back in the mid-noughties.
Yes, I think so.
Selling to you, probably.
Yeah, I think
do you know what?
Was.
It's all about demonstrating value and convincing the person who's the influencer to go to the boss to make sure that they understand the value. But they've got to go to the boss and demonstrate value and ROI, because ultimately it's got to come down to how much money we're going to make on implementing this type of technology. So it's really vital that you do optimize search, and that's the message that person would have to take to their boss. Hey, Mr. X, we've got to do this because we're missing out on these particular areas of our site, and we're losing customers because of it. Because if you don't give someone that's relevant to them, they've gone, and you've probably lost them forever, because they're going to go off to Google and find your competitors and maybe get a better experience. And then once you're hooked, then that's it. That you're shopping with that brand. So it's really, really important that you get this right. So why would you not want to use that contextual data that your customers are telling you about what they want to buy on your site? Why would you not want to use that? That's just common sense for anybody that's serious about online and e-commerce. You've got to allow your systems to understand what your customers are telling you to buy, what they want to buy. But then smaller merchants, if they're just on an e-commerce platform, maybe they're on a Shopify or a BigCommerce, even a Magento, and they want to enhance their search and get ahead of the game, then maybe they're looking at some of their competitors and they want to get that Amazon style of rich product discovery. Then in a simple plug and play way, that's where Klevu comes in as well, because it can give you those enhancements very, very quickly and give you that rich discovery of your particular products in your catalog. So that's really, really important. But in merchants that are on legacy systems, so older platforms or even older search technologies, why not improve your conversion rates by using the latest technology, the best of breed latest technology, and get the better data on what your customers are telling you to buy. And through our APIs, we can connect to any platform that we want to, and still give you all the good stuff that you've seen in I've been talking about today, but in all the other videos that we've got in this series. And because we've been talking about search and conversational search, it's really, really important that you're using the latest technologies. So the voice, mobile usage is increasing, so therefore voice search is really, really important. But your imagery, images, that sort of thing. So you want to be with a technology that is a SaaS solution that's constantly evolving and providing you, as part of that SaaS subscription, all those enhancements. Yeah. So you're always going to have the best of breed search and product discovery solution because you're working with the right partner. And then I think that's part of the value proposition. But there's a load of stats that have got to sit behind this to really give you that sort of reason to buy. So searchers 2 to 4 times more likely to convert than non-searchers. That's huge. 15 to 20% of site usage are searchers. So people that are searching, and that can be more as well on searching sites because everyone's slightly different, but generally 15 to 20%, but it can generate 40 to 50% of your revenue. So why, if you've got a poor search experience, are you going to leave that money on the table if people are going off elsewhere? So it's really, really important that you are maximizing your conversions for the people that are telling you all that really cool stuff that allows you to do all the personalization and hook them into your brand. Average order values can be higher if you have a great product discovery solution. So 20% higher if you're using relevant results and good personalization and recommendation. You've got 10 to 40% increase in search-led conversions when people move to Klevu if they're coming from just a normal e-commerce platform. So your standard text search, for example, or index search, you've got that 10 to 40% increase in search conversions. And that's really, really important. I think a lot of people have talked about Cox & Cox, and they're a really great client of ours because they've implemented a lot of our technologies, including voice. So if you want to go on there and test it out, then please do. But they've seen an 81% increase in search-led conversions, in search-led revenue, which is huge.
It's massive, isn't it?
Since they've implemented Klevu. So those are the sort of stats that you've got to take to your boss and say, we've got to change this. There's so many more. Reduction in bounce rates. You make your site more sticky. So if you can reduce your bounce rate by 50%, you're going to get more conversions. Yeah, because it's more relevant. People are going to buy from you. And mobile is really, really important. So making sure that if I think the latest stats that you're seeing now is 50 to 60% of people are interacting with your site on mobile phones. You need to have a solution that works really, really well on a mobile device, and using a solution like Klevu will do that for you. So ultimately, with all those stats, it's all adding up to a load of money left on the table if you don't make that decision to move.
So well put. So well put. So there you go, guys. If you're convincing the boss, then lots of ways to go there. And my tip would be to focus in on the stat that the boss is obsessed with, because the boss is always obsessed with one stat, rightly or wrongly. So
Yeah, absolutely.
zero in on that one to make the difference. Well, thank you, Ian. It's been a pleasure to chat with you, as it has been for the last 15 or so years. It always is a pleasure to chat with you. I think we've given everyone lots of food for thought on why they should be getting on with improving that on-site product discovery experience right now. Don't wait around for whatever it is you're trying to wait for. Do it now, because it's going to start learning, it's going to start bringing you the sales. And what's coming up in the future, and also exactly how to convince the boss to say yes. Now, if you out there, if you would like to find out more about how Klevu can help you improve your user experience and drive conversions and revenue through the search bar, then go to klevu.com, that's Klevu.com, and there you can sign up for a free 14-day trial to see exactly how quickly Klevu can improve your site performance and sales.